What's up everyone, my name is Farid, you guys already know that, and today we're going to do a review of Netflix's The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Now, I don't usually do reviews, but, well, let's give this a try again. For starters, like right off the bat, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina has a fantastic cast. I mean, obviously, some of the actors are more experienced and therefore arguably better at their job than others, you know. I mean, I'm not naming names, but you know who they are. Some of them are actually visibly better than the others because they have more experience. But everyone has talent. It's actually great that they managed to do that because everyone, you can tell that they have talent, even if it's raw talent. It's there. They're good at their jobs. They're good actors. They're good at acting. It's a fantastic cast. I look forward to seeing what comes forth from this show, what future seasons might bring, and also what comes forth in their career, what other projects they'll get through, they'll get into, they'll go through, they'll grow with, because everyone there has a lot of talent, and I look forward to seeing, what else they're going to do beyond this show. And that's pretty much all of the nice things I had to say on this review. Yeah. Sorry guys, but I did not like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch as many seasons as they make because, I'm a sucker for bad television. But it really bothered me. It actually made me uncomfortable and somewhat angry because, well, there was a lot of things that was wrong. But if I list them all, the video, which is already almost 2 minutes long, if I list them all, the video is going to be like 50 minutes. I know because I tried. This is probably like 6th attempt at recording this video. So let's keep it simple, let's keep it short. The writing is weak. The story is not as compelling as it could have been. You can see that it has the backbones, the basic bones of a story that could be compelling, but it's just not developed properly. They don't work on the things that they have that they should work on. And then there's the characters. Like I said, the cast is excellent, but the characters themselves are... I don't want to be too harsh, so I'm just going to say they are less than appealing. I mean, on the first sight, they are great characters, but then you realize that the first sight is literally all there is to it. They're flat. They're flat characters. There's not much to them. You can't tell a single character's motivation. I couldn't tell, at least. I couldn't see anyone's reasoning for doing anything that they were doing, except for like Sabrina, whose entire character motivation seems to be that she's 16 years old and suffering from a serious case of teen angst and rebellion, and Madame Satan, who is the character played by Michelle Gomez, and you only find out her motivations at the very end of the season. So you spend the entire season having no idea why the fuck she's doing what she's doing, and that bothered me. There was no motivation from absolutely anyone else. No one had like any real drive. They would do what needed to be done for the plot to move forward, and that was it. They were to the story like I was in high school, just going through the motions, And I mean, in high school, I was wasted the whole time. So like, what is their excuse, But speaking of the very end, the finale was, again, I don't want to be rude or mean, so I'm just gonna say it was very much underwhelming. It was just... They spent the entire season building to a specific event. I'm gonna put spoilers in this video. They spent the entire season building up to the reveal. Sabrina telling her friends and boyfriend, for the second time, the boyfriend, that she's a witch. And when she finally does it, it's like, that's it. It's very... There's no consequence. There's nothing really there. It's just, by the way, I'm a witch. And then they cry and hug because her boyfriend dumped her. It's like, oh, you're a witch. Wait, your boyfriend dumped you? Oh my god, that is totally unexpected. What? You know, it's like, why? Why is that the focus of the goddamn scene, for God's sakes? It's like, oh, I'm a witch, and by the way, my boyfriend dumped you. Oh my god, your boyfriend dumped you? What? I mean, come on. It sounds like people have their priorities a bit, shifted. And, okay, speaking of shifting, the show is filled with plot holes. Like, seriously, it has more holes than that tasty yellow cheese that has a bunch of holes in it. I forgot the name. But I'm serious right now. There are a lot of holes. For an example, cannibalism. I can't believe I'm saying this, but seriously. Sabrina is very much against cannibalism. She says it's barbaric, it's terrible, it's gross. And, I mean, I sort of, I'm gonna agree with her here. But also, in the beginning of the season, her aunts, one of her aunts at least, talks openly about how long it's been since they've eaten human flesh. She laments it. She talks about it like she misses it. And the way she talks about it, it's basically the way you would talk about like mashed potatoes or something. Like it's a casual thing. So, one of two things have to be true for both situations to be plausible. A, Sabrina, who was raised by witches for the past 16 years, has to somehow have no idea that witches have a cannibalistic Thanksgiving where they slaughter and eat a human being, which between the two of us is like the second most awful thing to happen on Thanksgiving. The first awful thing to happen, the worst thing to happen on Thanksgiving, obviously, would be the massacre of native people. The genocide, the raping, all of that. I'm gonna get back to the subject of rape, by the way. So there's a lot to expect. But I'm gonna be quick because the video is set. It's 7 minutes long. And two, she has to have not been aware that her family consumes human flesh, which means she probably ate it at some point and just thought it was what, chicken? I don't know. It's insane that she would be the one to object, seeing that her family seems to be pretty cool with it, and she was raised by them for the past 16 years, And going back to the subject of rape, the subject of consent, actually, is very, very important on the show when it needs to be. For an example, when her friend is sexually harassed by classmates, Sabrina goes ape shit trying to protect her friend. She goes, she attacks the principal with spiders, which, I mean, the whole point of the scene is that he's afraid of spiders, but once you see the scene, you will realize it doesn't matter if he's afraid of spiders or not, because anyone would get fucked up over that. But anyways, so she knows about consent. She knows the difference between right and wrong. But she also places a memory spell on her boyfriend to make sure he can't remember her telling him she's a witch, so he won't break up with her, therefore invalidating any consent he might be given from that point forward in time. And also, why the fuck is she so obsessed with her boyfriend? Like, I get it, she's 16, we're dramatic at that age. I watched Fight Club and tried to punch myself in the face. But why the fuck is she... She tells him she's a witch, he freaks out, she erases his mind, and then she spends the rest of the season going on and on about how they have true love, and how when she crosses a line to help him, she's like, oh, he would do the same for me. Would he? Would he, Spellman? Really? Would he? So, that pissed me off a little bit. Another thing that pissed me off is that she looks at her aunt, who raised her, for her entire life, and she goes, you're not my real mother. And honestly, I mean, I don't like the aunt either, that specific aunt. She's kind of an abusive piece of shit to her sister. But nothing can be said to imply that she does not love and care for Sabrina. She may be an abusive piece of shit to her sister, and I'm going to get to that. But to Sabrina, she was like a mother to Sabrina. Okay? Maybe not a great mother, but she loves for Sabrina. She wants to protect Sabrina. She goes out of her way to protect Sabrina. Sometimes. Another time, she lets her participate in a cannibal lottery in which if she speaks, she's gonna be, slaughtered and eaten, and her aunt just lets her do it. So I guess Sabrina does have a point about. I mean, actually, I have a point about the characters being consistent and just doing whatever the fuck needs to be done by then for the plot to move forward. But the thing is, she looked at the woman who housed, clothed, bathed, and fed her from childhood, and she said, "You're not my real mother." When all that the woman was trying to do was tell her, you shouldn't be messing with necromancy. I told you not to mess with necromancy. You messed with it, and now you want to what? Go into mortal limbo? That's dangerous. You might die. I won't allow it. That's what her aunt said, and she looked right at her aunt and said, "You're not my real mom." And at that moment, I actually hated her a little bit. I hate the aunt, but I also hated her a little bit. I hated both of them. They were both wrong for different reasons, but they were. And speaking of the aunt that I kind of hated a little bit, the Aunt Zelda, if I'm not mistaken, it's the tall one, the one that smokes. And she kills her sister repeatedly. The sister comes back to life, so it's fine. But she kills her sister repeatedly. That's not something you do to someone you love. That's abuse. She's abusive towards her sister. She's emotionally, verbally, and physically abusive towards her sister. And that is fucked up. Okay? And those were the things that pissed me off the most. Also the fact that they take the idea of Satanism and they do the 50 Shades of Grey thing, which is they don't research, they just present a twisted and irresponsible and scary version of it, which is like, what the fuck? I mean, I am not a Satanist, I am not familiar with like their rituals and stuff, but I bothered to do some research. I did like a bunch of research, and from what I could tell, they are not really like cannibals, murderers who celebrate when people get stabbed. That's not who they are. And for some reason, that's who they are in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because why not? In fact, if I'm being honest here, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, probably going to get a few dislikes, but the thing is, the Satanists in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina actually behave a lot like the Ebony Darkness, Dementia Raven Way version of Catholics. The whole structure of Satanism on that show is basically an edgy Catholicism, Christian Catholics structure. To the point of the crucifix. There is a crucifix that keeps popping up left and right that is upside down. And I suppose because they heard from, people on the street that's like, oh, by the way, the upside down cross, that's a thing from the devil. When in actuality, the St. Peter's cross, as it is called, is a symbol of respect towards Jesus Christ. It's from St. Peter, who was also sentenced to death on a cross, but didn't deem himself worthy to be killed the same way as Jesus, so he requested that his cross is put upside down. So it's like, I grew up surrounded by Christians from like every different breed, so I know what I'm talking about here. The Satanists within that show behave a lot like Christians, like certain branches of Christianism, except the edgy, version of it. And that bothers me a lot as well, that's irresponsible, and that's honestly offensive, it's like, seriously, it's disrespecting an entire religion, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not part of the religion, so it's not up to me to say it. If they don't take offense, then I suppose it's fine, but I suppose they do take offense because they're suing Netflix and the other studio behind it, because they said the studio stole their intellectual property from a statue that they created, and it's copyrighted material, but also they used the word satanic panic to describe what Netflix was doing with the Church of Night, which is their branch, the show's branch of Satanism. So that's that. Of course I'm going to watch season 2, because I like being upset about bad TV, and I like complaining about things, so, That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video that is 14 minutes long, a bit longer than I was expecting it to be, twice as long, but it's alright. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you were offended about what I said about the Catholic Church, I grew up surrounded by Catholics. I know what I'm talking about. Maybe not your brand of Catholicism. If it's not, then fine. But the ones I grew up with, you know, Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, born again Christians, the guys from the Universal Church of God's Kingdom. I've seen them all. I've been to them all. I know what it's like. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you never miss any other videos of me trash talking TV or dead people. Like, okay, you're gonna have to watch a different video from a Let's Play that I don't know if I've posted yet because I'm pre-recording these. But it's gonna make sense eventually, I promise. Look out for a trash video in which I trash talk grandma. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!